Welcome back to Nich and Jon Is This Evangelion.
It's been a while, Nick.
It has, John. It has been a while.
Should we apologise?
Or explain.
Can we explain?
I don't think so. There's no reason.
I can't even remember when we did
That's bad.
the last one. That is terrible.
It's a couple of months, isn't it, I think?
Let's be charitable and say it's 2 months.
Maybe our greatest fans would disagree.
No, maybe longer. I can't really think why it happened. We just got super busy.
Well, I mean, to be fair to us, Ali and I are ramping up towards our, sort of preps for our wedding.
Oh, you're getting married?
We are
Nick?
actually, John.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm trying not to sort of bring it into literally every podcast that I'm on.
I thought you had
obsessed.
40,000 origami cranes downstairs because you had some weird fetish. I didn't realise it was for love.
They're not for the wedding.
Oh, I see. That is irrelevant. Yeah, I mean, it's not like
we've been busy, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean,
that's not an excuse.
We've fallen right into pitiful excuse territory. But yeah, we've just been really busy with other things.
It's been a crazy few weeks.
But of course, we also pumped out Cuckoo's first flight. So we had a whole new podcast there.
Absolutely.
We've been making a few changes podcast-wise. We're about to launch a show called Hate.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, it does feel good to get back to Evangelion.
Yeah, or as we call it, Najit.
For the boys in the know. But yeah, it's been so long that we actually had to remind ourselves what the last episode was.
Yes. Yeah, that shows how long it's been.
Magma Diver,
yes.
So instead, we're back. Well, we fired up the DVD.
We did.
And we said to ourselves, what's it going to be? And I had a sneaking suspicion it was going to be big old spider angel guy.
Acid Eyes McGee, as we like to call him.
And
you were right.
I was.
By Jove.
Yeah, and I also said I felt going in that this was going to be one of the lost episodes.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it really was. Everything about this episode sums up exactly... I mean, we'll get into it, but... it could sum up exactly what Evangelion maybe is all about. And maybe what we always thought it was all about.
Yes, spoilers. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
I thought it was a very strong episode.
Yeah.
So should we do what we know? Should we dive in?
Let's dive in. Should
we just grab the bull by the horns and see if we remember how this works?
I'm pulling up the website now to remind me of the episodes.
Delightful. Well,
yeah.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, this was episode 11 of the original series, and it had a title. It had 2 titles. They often tend to have many titles.
I'm nearly there. Here we go. Hold on to your pants.
Lay it on me.
The Day Tokyo 3 Stood Still.
That's a good title. Or
In the Still Darkness. Both good, actually. Both representative of the events within the episode. So we start...
How does it open, Nick?
It opens... Oh, goodness me.
Think domestic? What do you do around the house?
You cook.
Yeah.
You clean.
Yeah, clean. What might you clean?
Why can't I remember this? I watched it 20 minutes ago.
Okay, it's not a kitchen. You're not cleaning the kitchen.
Not cleaning the kitchen. Are you cleaning the bathroom?
No. What are you wearing? Clothes.
Clothes, yes.
Laundry.
They're
doing...
Yes, it opens on a laundromat, John, you idiot.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, so we see what looks like normal everyday street life in Tokyo 3.
Yeah.
With some figures outside the laundromat, obviously having just picked up their laundry, and when we get closer, we realise that they are the sort of computer crew of the HQ of Nerve.
You see, because it was interesting, because it opened like this kind of pretty mundane, normal city street. We get it a lot in Evangelion, cicadas.
Yeah, regardless of the end of the world, it kind of looks every day.
Yeah, and I think the opening line is I want an ice cream bar.
Yeah, it's a kid running past a vending machine.
And as we mentioned before, it's kind of post-apocalyptic, but someone is still manufacturing ice cream bars.
And I'm glad they are.
And I remember saying, it's a laundry.
That's...
What an odd little... there's a laundry. That's fine. That survived the apocalypse.
Seems to be a very futuristic laundry.
None of us realised that the laundry was going to be quite integral to the plot.
Yeah, weirdly.
Yeah.
So basically, it seems that the sort of the computer team, as they were, the guys who were always in HQ and the ones who were shouting at the big screen and shouting information back to Fuyutsuki and Gendo and everything.
Yeah.
It's those 3, 2 women and a guy.
Yeah, because we're going to come across as... No, it's only one woman and 2 guys.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's right, because there's a short-haired guy and a long-haired guy.
Yeah, the long-haired guy has a guitar.
Does he?
Yeah, because he was
Is
there
it?
as well. He had a guitar over his shoulder.
Oh, yes, on a case on his back. Yeah.
But you see, we're probably sounding like... I swear we're fans of the show,
Love
honestly,
the show.
but we just cannot bring the names of these characters to mind.
Well,
right now.
I think there's a reason for that. I'm not 100% sure we've been told them.
They haven't been... No. They haven't been named in the
I mean, like, yeah, we could be the best fans in the world, but, I mean, there's a limit.
Evangelion is one of those shows... Sorry, I'm choking on my own rage. I'm so angry.
I'm so angry about how great this episode is.
Evangelion is one of those shows where there's so much literature and mythos around the show.
You can call it chuff.
Chuff, shall we say.
A lot of chuff.
But you trick yourself into thinking... Like, I know elements of the show, and I'm convinced I've learnt it from the show.
And yet, yeah, you haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
no, I completely agree.
like these characters have not been named so far.
They probably have names. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, and I'm sure better fans than us could tell us what they are.
Yeah, write in. Yeah, subscribe.
But cuts to the laundry, and we're immediately like, oh, what's going on? Why is suddenly everyone doing their laundry? Like, everyone who's anyone in Nerve.
Yeah.
Because you've got Ritsuko...
Yeah.
And
Fuyutsuki.
And one of the technicians are picking up laundry.
Oh, yeah.
And Ritsuko's like, so much of my life is spent doing laundry.
Yeah. More so now, she says, or something. Like,
After the
I'm spending so much money. Yeah, which suggests that she's so busy that she hasn't got any time to do it herself, I guess. Is that the... But then they all hop onto the metro. It seems to be a normal morning in Tokyo 3.
It's a down
Hop
day.
on the train to get to work, Just the commute to Nerve to save the world.
You see, this bit is... it's a very good episode. It's a really good episode.
Yeah, don't get us wrong.
But there's tone... Like, the tone of the series is always shifting.
Always.
And so, like, we've never had these kind of mundane moments of just the average people going to work.
No, and I think the show is trying to play them as though, like, hey, it's just your favourite characters, you're getting to know them, woo!
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm all for, like, putting your sort of titular characters into more everyday, mundane situations because you get to know them a bit better. It just doesn't seem to... it doesn't weirdly sort of hang with this. It's odd. It is odd.
If the whole series was like this, great.
Yeah.
But we've gone through episodes where Nerve is presented like this weird alien, almost like inhuman, monstrous government agency.
Yeah.
And then we get these odd little human moments.
And I've got to say, I always kind of assumed, although we know that Katsuragi lives in her apartment, which is, off of Nerve ground, I assumed that a lot of Nerve employees actually lived on site in a sort of dorm or mess kind of
entirely,
scenario.
yeah.
And also that they didn't travel on, like, regular public transport or anything like that.
But this comes up so often, because we're like... I mean, every one of these... Because it's not a big team, right?
No, it
Nerve
doesn't seem to be.
Has this massive complex. It seems to have a lot of... like underlings and technicians and engineers, but the actual people calling the shots is a very small team.
Yeah.
And it's like any one of them, like if they died or, were hit by a car.
We've got a significant problem.
Yeah.
Saving the world.
Like Ritsuko is like the smartest woman alive. Like, she practically built the entire Evangelion program. Maintains it, runs the supercomputers. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And here she is just picking up a laundry.
So she hops on the subway. Fuyutsuki's there. He's reading the paper.
Yeah, also, a rather important person.
Yeah.
Second in command of...
Where does he live?
Nerve. Yeah.
He's just been staying over at a friend's.
And they just have like... It's actually, it's quite a nice bit of world building.
It is, because they're talking about the upcoming elections for the council.
Yes, like the City Council of Tokyo 3.
Which is then revealed to be kind of a little bit of an empty shell of a council, really, because all of the democratic decisions and sort of process is actually handled by the Magi, the 3 supercomputers.
Yeah, but now you see, this was interesting, because they say the Magi, and my immediate thought watching the episode was, just like I said a few minutes ago, this is one of those moments where I know they've mentioned the Magi in a previous episode.
Yes.
But it's one of those subtle backgroundy kind of things where they talk about the Magi, but they never explain what they are.
Which I think maybe this was the episode that did.
Yeah, like this episode actually explains a few things.
Yeah, we have a few expositional comments like, oh, you mean the supercomputers at the core of Nerve?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which of course he did. So there's a nice little bit, as you say, nice little bit of world building there. And we learn that Fuyutsuki's actually on a trip. He's going to head out to sort of represent Gendo at the council meeting.
He basically says he gives me all the mundane jobs.
Yeah.
So
we're very much building Gendo up at this point in the episode to be a bit of a douche, you know. And then it cuts to Shinji on the phone.
Yes.
And he's calling Gendo, his dad. And he gets through. He's calling in a phone box just on the street, as Shinji has a habit of doing. Even though we've seen him with a mobile phone, incidentally, in this episode. Weird.
Does he have a mobile phone?
Yeah, he uses it to try and connect to Nerve when everything goes wrong later on. Anyway, that's beside the point, clearly. Maybe he hasn't bought any credit.
Yeah, no minutes.
Yeah.
Data charges after second impact were devastating.
So he's listening to hold music, then he gets put through, and Gendo sounds very impatient and angry. What is it? What do you want? And we get a frustratingly slow conversation on Shinji's part. Dad. Yeah, get to it, boy.
I know Gendo's a monster, but I do sympathise with him.
To this aspect, I do. Yeah. And he eventually manages to spit out that he needs to, what is it? He needs parents' permission.
It's basically like a parents' evening.
Some school thing.
At school, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, and Gendo on the other end of the line's like, well, I got Katsuragi to handle all of this stuff. Like, don't bother me with this sort of stuff again.
Yeah. You see, exact kind of stuff. It does seem like a grim mockery because it's like, Shinji, what are you talking about? We own the school. It's a government facility. I'm head of Nerve.
I'm making sure you get A stars every day.
Yeah, and I'm also secretly planning the end of the world. So
I've got a lot on.
Your university prospects do not concern me.
You won't survive to university.
Yes, no.
There will be instrumentality before then.
Shinji, try to understand. Soon you will know everything. And nothing, and knowledge will be a colour.
You'll be made out of a giant blood creature, okay? So, yeah. So he really doesn't have time, and I can understand with what he's got on his plate.
But, it's just to remind us that...
Hey, again, Gendo is a bit of a berg.
Yeah, and, Shinji's life is horrible.
Let's not like him. And then, phone hangs up, or it sounds like Gendo's hung up on Shinji. But it also did sound a little bit like the phone cut out.
We can't... You hear him say... like almost to his secretary, like off mic, he goes, stop forwarding these calls, click.
Yes.
And then just kind of...
But Shinji is not convinced from that his dad hung up on him. He has a bit of insight, because then it cuts to a conversation between, is it then? It cuts to him and Oscar and Ray, and they're walking towards Nerve. And Shinji says something to the effect of, I don't think he hung up. I think it was a mechanical failure.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah. He says that. And I think Oscar takes the piss out of him and just says something like, why aren't you a man? You should be more of a man. Which is her sort of go-to phrase whenever she doesn't know what to say.
Well, you see, at this point, we're kind of we're bouncing about a little bit, and it's quite well done. Like we see,
it's quite choppily cut, but in a good way.
The editing is really, because
we've got the Ritsuko bit, haven't we?
Yeah, it was an amazing cut where because we're seeing Nerve. It's a quiet day, and everyone's just going about their business, and everyone's collecting laundry for some reason.
And we've got our morning commutes,
and we have the other technician. You see him, and I think he's named later as Hayuke or something like that.
Yes, he is. Well done.
So he's kind of picking up.
Hayake. Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with me?
Katsuragi's laundry.
What's her full name? Katsuragi.
Misato.
Yeah. He's picking up Misato's laundry, and he's like, "Gosh, she's such a slob. Why do I have to pick up her laundry?"
Let's drive that point home again for a little.
and then of course on the train you got Fuyutsuki, and he's like.
Haven't you got the Unit 0 test today?
He goes, yes, we're trying another trial run. It'll be great. And he goes, I hope you have good results. Immediate smash cut to emergency.
Red letters on the screen.
I mean, the editing in this episode is really good.
And it just cuts to Ritsuko, doesn't it? She's just like, oh. It's really good.
For once, though, Unit 0 does not go berserk and try to kill anyone.
Thank goodness.
And they just turn the power off.
Yes. And so we've got these two scenes running simultaneously. We've got Shinji talking to Asuka and Rei on the way
kind of just commuting to Nerve.
And we've got Ritsuko doing a test on Unit 0. And simultaneously, through cuts, the power goes out.
Oh, and also Misato and...
Kaji in the lift. Yes.
Yeah, I just kind of catching the lift. And then suddenly, bang, 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 the power goes out everywhere.
Yeah, and we get a shot of Ritsuko in the lab just going, that wasn't me.
Again, surprisingly funny episode.
Yeah, really good.
And then the build-up is very nice again. Because you just get all the characters kind of going, no power. That's odd, And
Misato explains that there are 3 circuits. There's the main, the sub, and then the backup, and all of them are not activating.
And she says basically, the chances of that happening
are basically 0, which means sabotage.
Yeah.
But sabotage, doesn't sound like something an angel would do.
And everyone starts kind of freaking out, and you cut to like, the command unit, and they're like, "Oh my god, what's happened? Like, do we have any power?" It's like, "Well, we have a tiny bit of power." And Fuitsky,
yeah,
he's like, "Quick, shunt it to the Magi,
and Central Dogma.
I can't speak today. What's wrong with me? Shunt it to the Magi and Central Dogma. They're like, "But what about life support?" It's like, "Screw life support. We have to keep them
We have
running.
to save the world."
That is very important that we have to do that."
Yeah. So very small amount of power, which I guess is residual charge that they're holding somehow. They pipe it into those things, and Ritsuko sort of makes a sort of leading comment that it feels like sabotage. It feels like someone would be doing it to map the facility in how we restore it.
Oh.
So someone is watching. So they sabotaged everything, watching how we restore, and in the process of restoration would learn a lot, I think, about how nerve works.
Interesting.
Which is weird.
That is very interesting. Yeah.
So she then says to Gendo that she'll run a dummy program through the Magi, which would throw them off the scent.
Nice.
Yes, which is quite a cool idea.
That is a very cool idea. And what I really like about this episode is how you see it's very methodical.
Yeah.
And it's very real. Like, they respond to the problem in a genuine way. And initially, it seems like an inconvenience, but not like a major problem.
Yeah.
And then when they realise that essentially they have been attacked, but because there's no, it's like, well, we've been taken, someone has attacked us, but because nothing's blowing up or
And
anything,
there's no alarms going or anything.
like this, and it's just like, they just start going. There's a lot of human ingenuity. Like, they're just trying to solve problems as they emerge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's great.
And then at the same time, like, the 3 kids have arrived, and they can't get into
Their ID
Nerve.
cards don't work on the scanners and everything.
Yeah, all the doors seem to have just been shut down.
Yeah, and we're also cutting at this point to the US, not the US Army, the Army, who are doing their usual sort of, they're monitoring the situation, but they don't mobilise because they know Nerve always handles it.
Yeah, and they're essentially impotent. Like, they're not.
Yeah,
they
and you can tell they're all angry about it. And then they say something like, "We're not hearing anything from Nerve. This is weird.
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing anything?"
And they basically say like, "Oh, an angel, like, something's
It's definitely
landed.
an angel,
An angel is heading towards the shore."
Yeah.
And they're like, the thing is, I'd be freaking out a bit more if I were them.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, an angel's arrived. Have Nerve said anything yet?" "No, they're not responding to our calls."
But this is what's so weird about Evangelion in general, is that there is this massive rivalry between the Army and Nerve. And I can understand that from a political perspective.
Yeah.
But it's the end of the world. Okay?
Guys, yeah. I guess the defense would be, we don't know how much the Army knows.
No, true.
Because we know Nerve has a lot of secret stuff going on. However, if giant monsters were coming from space, I think kind of like the greater good might convince me to work. I
think the greater panic would probably kick in.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the Army almost has this attitude of, well, if they screw it up, it's their fault,
Yeah, because they go like, well, it's heading for Tokyo 3.
Yeah.
What's the government said? Oh, the government are getting ready to evacuate.
And they even say something like, well, we can't handle this sort of stuff anyway.
Yeah, it's not our job.
Yeah.
More than my job's worth,
And it's almost like they're setting up, or not setting up, but hoping that Nerve will fail so they can do a big "told you so," Nerve are rubbish, even though Nerve are the only ones who have ever had any chance.
Yeah.
And have a proven track record of taking angels down. You'd think the Army would be like rooting for Nerve at this point.
Because you'd be like, oh, hey, monsters from space. Turns out shooting little lead pellets at them isn't actually doing anything.
Oh, really?
Well, you appear to have a super weapon.
Yeah.
Maybe we can work together.
Would you like some lead pellets for it?
Yeah. You ever need someone shot? We can help you out there. But
Shinji needs his dad shot.
I'm just saying, one bullet.
So yes, that's a weird little cutaway which we see.
Yeah.
With
So
the
we
Army.
keep kind of bouncing back and forth between.
We do. So we may as well talk about it in general terms.
Yeah, because it'll be a little hard to track every individual scene because the editing is very, very good.
It's great. Yeah,
and they do this wonderful sense of just showing all these various plot lines. So like Misato and Kaji are stuck in the elevator.
Yeah.
And there's sexual tension.
Mainly coming from Kaji being a perv.
Dirty perv, yeah. And the heat is increasing because the
life support's not on anymore.
Life support is breaking down. So, and then in the command unit, they're lighting candles everywhere. And
then there's a great humour moment again. Do you want to tell it?
No, it's all yours. It's all yours.
So it's like they're all complaining about how hot it is, and then I think one of the girls at the console goes, "Well, look at the 2 commanding officers," and then it cuts up to the usual shot we always see of Gendo with his hands like in front of his face, and Fuyutsuki standing sort of a few feet behind him, and Fuyutsuki's just like, "It's hot, isn't it?" Again, just like, yeah.
But
then it cuts, and Fuyutsuki stood with his trousers rolled up to his knees, just barefoot, in a bucket of cold water.
Now, there are very few situations in which we've seen his legs.
Yeah.
You know, he had that habit of just kind of like descending or
yeah,
appearing.
on a little elevator.
I choose to believe he's always in a bucket of water.
Yeah, maybe he is. Maybe
just
he's like a
kinda-
plant.
Just kind of changes the temperature based on like the weather.
I like the idea that the designers had to think about what Fuyutsuki's legs looked like. I wonder if there was a committee about that. It's like, do you think he waxes? No, I don't think he does.
There's a whole Tumblr page for it now.
Inevitably, and if there isn't, we've just caused it to.
We need to
exist.
set that up. We're in the golden period between coming up with this genius money making idea and registering the URL. So we need to hurry.
Let's move.
But yeah, so aside from like all these wonderful little like character moments,
Which
nothing
it very much is actually.
nothing is kind of like really happening as such. That's not a bad thing. It's more just kind of like
No, we know the angel's progressing though.
Yeah.
We know the angel has, because the army have tracked it, and we've seen a couple of shots of really long black legs,
yeah,
sort of behind hills and skyscrapers, advancing on the centre
Yeah.
of Tokyo 3.
And I guess the most action is happening with the kids.
The kids.
Because they find like an emergency door. which
They're
they can
worming their way in.
manually open. They go through some vents. They go through some different.
And all the while they're
corridors.
talking, and again, this is key character development. Like Asuka is very much taken the leader role, as she's decided to lead it, but she obviously doesn't know where to go, whereas Rei does. And she Shinji decides to ask at one point what do you think the angels are? You know, and they have a little conversation about that. Asuka doesn't really want to engage in that conversation, but Shinji makes the point that angels are, named after the messengers of God, and yet for some reason these are enemies that we're fighting.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, why are you overthinking it?
Yeah.
Things from space are coming to kill us.
Let's fight back.
We're fighting back."
It's as simple as that.
I think it's like one of the few times. I mean, because in Magma Diver, you had like weird moments where all three of them were together.
Yeah.
But they actually spent a lot of time talking about Shinji's sexual frustration.
Yes.
It was just like,
And it didn't. Yeah, not only was it annoying, like you said at the time, but it also didn't feel right. Like they wouldn't talk about that.
yeah.
Whereas this actually seems like a realistic conversation.
Again, this is one of those episodes where I would feel quite comfortable showing this to people as an example of what the series.
I'd want to show it off.
Yeah, as what it should be, because again, it's a gentle episode. Not a massive amount happens, but it feels confident and like
it knows what it is.
focused.
Yes.
It's doing it really well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and you get nice bits of character moments. So it's not Asuka in a swimsuit and taunting Shinji.
No.
It's the three of them trying to work together as a team and not really getting on to some extent. And you get nice bits between like Asuka and Rei.
Yes, you get the whole section where Asuka's sort of saying, "Oh, you're the favourite, and you act like so superior to all of us." And Rei's like, "I don't act superior, and also I'm not treated like the favourite."
Yeah.
And you're starting to get this inkling that she kind of is treated like the favourite by Gendo in terms of how he psychologically treats her. But you're starting to paint this picture, which again, we're not sure where we picked this up from. Has the show told us this yet? We've seen where Rei lives,
Yes.
which is not particularly pleasant. But we haven't really yet had a really full sense of actually how Rei is treated as an object, basically. And it's interesting to hear that she has some feelings on that as well, albeit very gentle feelings. But she says that, it sort of comes across that she's not really happy in her life either, really at all.
Because she doesn't know
Anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, I'm unhappy, but I don't really know what happiness is anyway, so
Yeah,
I don't really
and
know
I'm not
how
really
to
pursuing
express
it.
it.
So, yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. And, you see Asuka's like pathological need to be in control.
Yes.
And to be better than people.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they get to a junction, don't
Yeah.
they, in a corridor, and it's left or right. And Rei says left. And Asuka thinks it's right, so she asks Shinji.
And Shinji can't decide.
No, obviously.
Shinji chooses inaction.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah, so there you go, everyone. That's character.
So they go the way that Asuka wants to go, which is right.
Which starts taking them up again.
Upwards, which Shinji says that doesn't seem
That
right.
doesn't seem right.
Asuka just gets annoyed at him. She opens a door at the top of the slope and is face to face with the street level of Tokyo 3, so it's all gone wrong, obviously. But as the instant she opens that door, one of the feet of the black spider legs that we've seen from a distance sort of slams to the ground in front of her. And as it sort of moves on, the body then sways into view past the door.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I've heard it described, and it's not like a true spider. It's more like a daddy long legs.
Yes, because the body hangs from the legs.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
like got this kind of like pellet shaped body.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest of angels. Like its legs are
No.
kind of crazy big, but it's
It's almost I'd say it's the flimsiest of all of them, probably. Yeah.
It was a bad day in the Angel Factory, and they sent that one out.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's got one power. And as it swings past, we see its little body, which is probably about the size of like a big car.
Yeah.
Like a Land Rover, shall we say?
And it's black, but it's covered in like triangular eye symbols, like all over it, like a potato.
They look more like symbols than actual eyes, but I think they are eyes.
Yeah, and I think we're probably, I guess for one thing, because like I said, this episode bounces about all over the place. But one thing we kind of missed is that Hayake, the one of the technicians who was outside the complex.
Oh yeah.
He hears like a military plane going above.
Yes,
because there's no word from Nerve because they're cut off, and the military facility is going.
Angel incoming.
Angel incoming. So he commandeers a political,
megaphone truck. Kind of. Yeah.
And they race into Nerve. And there's a great bit, and I want this like tattooed on my chest, where they're racing towards the Nerve entrance, and there's a barrier down, and they're like, "There's a barrier." He goes, "No, drive straight through it. This is an emergency. Everything is permitted." I'm like, that's amazing.
This is an emergency. Everything is permitted.
Put it on my gravestone. That would be astounding. And then basically he drives this little van right into the command unit, however many thousands of miles that is below the surface.
Yeah, like he's managed to get to the place where the computer consoles are. Where they work. He drove a van into there. Like I always wonder in car showrooms how they got the cars in there. Yeah. But like, he knows how. Because he got it into a computer room.
Screeches to a halt and just goes like, "There's an angel! There's an angel!" And then like, "Oh, bugger!
Oh, crunch.
Angels!"
That's bad.
And then Gendo's like, "We have to launch the angel."
Yes, and so now what we're getting is between like Asuka, Shinji, and Rei having taken the wrong way and seen the angel eye to eye, literally. At the same time, Gendo is like, "We need to prepare the Avas." So he decides to naff off and do it himself by hand. Now, obviously, there are some workmen in orange jumpsuits assisting him, but it is quite interesting that Gendo decides that he's going to do this and he's going to assist. And so, interspersed, we get shots of the hangars, and everything is being done with like winches and pulleys and men going heave-ho and pulling stuff around.
Yeah, they say like they have like they have diesel generators which might allow them to.
Yeah, so that's good, I guess.
Yeah,
and I'm guessing that's helping them, like doing things like opening the entry plug and everything. And then all the time, everyone's going, "Well, what's the point? There's no pilots here." To which Ritsuko, I believe, says, "They'll be here." Yeah, which is quite cool.
It was a great, again, just to kind of like salute the editing. It's not a great little moment where you just see like a door, because all the doors are electric.
Yeah.
And they're all shut.
Oh, yeah.
And you see like a group of workmen just like prying this door open. Massive effort. And then they always collapse on the floor. And then like perfect comedy, Ritsuko just like kind of
steps over them. Yeah.
Just walks gently.
Like 6 men have like struggled with all they have to open that door, and she just walks in.
It's a very funny episode.
It is actually. There's a lot of visual gags as well.
Yeah. And then so all the plot threads are coming together, and the kids are in a ventilation shaft.
Yep.
Kind of crawling. And then they fall out of the ventilation shaft.
Into the command center room.
Yeah, like bang.
In front of Ritsuko, basically.
It's very convenient,
it's
actually.
Really lucky. Yeah, that's good.
And they're like, "Oh, great, you're here.
Let's get you in. Let's get you strapped in."
And then they're like, "But how can we launch? We have no power." And she's like, "You don't understand, Shinji." The music swells. And there's like this oddly symphonic music playing.
There is. Yeah.
And she goes, "You don't understand, Shinji. Your dad knew you'd be here. And like,
he believed in you."
You see Gendo, and he's like heaving on a rope.
He's not looking down, but he's like sweating.
He's so determined.
Yeah.
And they're like, he believed in you, and he knew you'd be here. And they're launching the Eva just for you. It's your birthday, Shinji. Here's a present. We made you a cake.
Here's a cake. Yeah.
And it's like they do this a lot, where Gendo acts like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
And then all the other characters just enable his behaviour, because they go to Shinji. "See, Shinji, your dad is actually a really nice guy.
And you're kind of an asshole for thinking that he's bad.
Aren't you a bit selfish, Shinji?
Maybe you should revisit your
when you
values.
Think about it. And just think, Shinji, if he'd been at your silly little parents' evening, the Earth would have been
your crappy little...
40,000 people would have died, Shinji, because of you.
Your life's irrelevant, Shinji.
Yeah.
Gendo's is more important." Yeah, absolutely. This is a point that's constantly driven home. But weirdly, in this episode, kind of plays out in a kind of heroic moment where it's like, without any words said, Shinji, I think, respects his dad for it. His dad respects him, maybe slightly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You
weird.
can see it either way.
I think you can definitely. It's undeniably heroic. Everyone's doing their job.
Yeah.
He's still an awful dad.
Oh God. Yeah. No doubt.
So I don't know. Maybe Shinji is like left realizing that like his dad can be heroic, but just not paternal. I guess.
maybe the only lesson learned here is that he's not entirely an asshole.
Yeah.
Like 98% asshole.
Everyone has redeeming qualities.
And his is pulling on pulleys.
My God.
Yeah, he can pull a pulley.
And wear a jacket.
He does.
And those gloves.
Like pushing those glasses up his
forgive
nose.
him.
So they launch with backup power.
Yes.
But then Ritsuko mentions that they're going to fit the Evas with batteries so that they can navigate the nerve tunnels.
And it's also the first time that all 3 Evas have been deployed.
Is that true?
I believe so.
First time all 3. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, because Asuka's not been on the scene.
Because
we had the Asuka trilogy, didn't we?
We did.
And
yes. And Ray didn't mobilise in that at all.
Yeah, no, and even in the last one with Magma Diver, there was only 2.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, this is the first time all 3. Which is interesting because, of course, the episode started with the Unit 0 test. And to all intents and purposes, it didn't seem like the test was going well.
No.
It didn't go berserk, like you said.
I had to think about this because I was doubting myself for a minute and I was thinking, is this the first time they've launched Unit 0? But of course it isn't. Because,
it's not the first time they've launched Unit 0, no.
Because doing the Ramiel fight, that was the big, arc.
But it does have a paint job for this one.
Yeah,
it's blue now.
Was it yellow during the events of
Ramiel? Oh, goodness me, I don't know.
Now I'm down. You see, it happened at night.
And also, was it different between the show and the film? I don't know either. We should check that.
I know generally they got a bit of a different paint job for the movies, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
God, we're terrible fans.
We're meant to be doing a podcast about it.
We love this show, I swear.
I really like this show, John.
I agree. I know it in and out.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
smash cut.
They're launching.
Yes.
And the 3 Avas are now crawling through a tunnel.
Which again is a direct callback to earlier when the
kids were crawling. Yeah, absolutely. And Asuka, as she always does, she wants to be as cool as she can when she's piloting the Ava. So she's like, this makes us look stupid. And it does. It's hilarious. And they have these huge battery packs fitted to their crazy shoulder fins, if you can call it that, which ends up making them look a little bit like Gundams.
I was just going to say.
Because they have these, so when they're stood up, which you see them briefly for, the batteries reach maybe the backs of their knees from their shoulders. So they have these long, what look like wings, like rocket wings.
They look really good.
They look amazing. And they're black.
But I guess the weird thing is, like earlier, the kids, human-sized children were crawling through a ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
Now you have the Evas crawling through, from their perspective, a ventilation shaft.
But it must be giant.
Yeah, like colossal.
What is this? Like the only thing I can think is because Lucy said it. She thinks it's the launch tubes.
Yeah,
when they normally launch.
And maybe you could drive because when they're crawling horizontally, maybe you could drive a truck.
Maybe.
Several trucks down that.
Maybe that's how they got them in.
Maybe so.
To the showroom.
But then they get to a vertical shaft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which seems to lead right up to the surface.
Which presumably is one of the rocket...
Again, must be, yeah. And it seems to be open as well, interestingly.
And they start climbing up it.
They do. Sort of, again, very ungainly.
Yeah.
They've sort of formed... they're chimneying it, basically.
Chimneying it?
Yeah, arms and legs out, clambering up this circular shaft, which is huge, but is the size of a fully starred out... like Ava. So if an Ava was doing a star jump,
yes,
that's how big the tube is. I think it's very important that everyone knows how big the tube is.
It's quite a large tube.
Yeah, and then some acid drips down from above, John.
Well, how do we know it's acid?
Because it melts into Unit Zero's batteries on its back.
It just goes right through it.
Yeah,
and I think hits Unit 2's foot.
Yes, that's right. So she slips.
She slips, hits Unit 0, hits Unit 1, and they start falling. They
tumble down this chimney. And Unit 1's at the bottom of the fall.
So Shinji does, again, kind of does something kind of heroic.
He often saves the day when it comes to Avas. He puts his arms out, he grips into the sides of the chimney as they're plummeting, and he manages to slow the descent to a point that they all stop, but they're all piled on top of each other. It's very ungainly.
And it's still kind of like, just, I don't know how far down this continues to go, but just kind of like...
They're like spread out, yeah.
And they look up and they see the angel.
Yes,
above.
It's positioned directly over this shaft.
And its eyes are weeping...
oozing
orange liquid.
Yeah.
This kind of like obscenely powerful acid.
Orange Julius.
Because it... But you see, this is the thing that's weird, because it's like we've seen the behaviour of several angels now.
Yeah.
And they've always tried to dig
down to Dogma. Yeah.
And it's like Ramiel in the original series used a drill.
A drill.
In the movie, it kind of like
Modged a drill.
Screwed down.
Yeah.
And I often felt about this angel, whose name I don't know. I can't actually remember the name of this angel. Oh, he's looking it up. I always felt that, like, compared to some of the techniques the angels use for trying to get down, be it like ion cannons or drills, I felt like the acid was some of the least efficient.
It really feels like you said, like there was a day off on the Angel Factory, because like every angel gets better and stronger and learns from the one that came before it. It suggests that they're not all waiting in the wings, but they're being built progressively. So, that design didn't work. Let's incorporate the bits that did and add something new. Every time it's like a learning process. But this one is just like, I'll just send something out. I'm really tired. Like
maybe they were doing their laundry.
Well, they had a power cut. So it's called Matariel.
Oh.
Yeah, Matarael.
It's a good name.
Yeah, it is good. Like material, in a way.
Tell us about it, Nick.
Give
us a fact.
I don't know. Let me click on it, see what it says.
Give us a fact direct from the internet.
Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, scrolling down, diddly-doo. No, not that one. Matariel, the ninth angel, has the appearance of a massive opilionid creature with numerous eyes.
There we go.
The central eye on the underbelly secretes a strong solvent which can easily melt through both concrete and steel. The angel attempts to burn a tunnel directly into the geofront using the solvent. The angel appears to possess no armament beyond this solvent, and its AT field never physically manifests. So,
which
leads us to... So, obviously, a bit of acid drips onto, they all tumble about. Shinji sort of saves them from falling to their very deaths. And they tuck away into a side passage.
But they have to shed their batteries to
get
fit back in.
Yes, which means they're now on the counter.
Yeah.
And they're 5 minutes to counting down.
So I think by the time we joined them, they only have like 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Like it's desperate stakes. But but it's like they have a direct, they're directly under the angel, direct shot up at it.
Yeah.
But they're directly in the path of the acid.
Yes. At which point Asuka comes up with a plan. So under pressure, she does her usual thing of actually doing quite well as a soldier. And she says, right, my plan involves each of us having a specific role. There's an offense, there's a defense, and there's a collector of the gun, because when they dropped the batteries, they also dropped a gun all the way to the bottom of the shaft.
Yes.
So offense, defense, gun collector. That's the 3 roles. The plan is that someone will position themselves as defense.
Basically sacrifice themselves, put themselves, block the tunnel.
In block the falling of the acid, take the hit of that. While gun collector goes to the bottom of the shaft, grabs the gun, throws it up to offense, who's positioned themselves below defense, and then defense gets out the way. They have a direct shot at the angel with the rifle and hopefully destroy it. But Asuka also mentions in this that the person who's got the defense role is going to neutralize the AT field of the angel.
Yeah.
Which is a throwaway line.
Which we never see anything manifest as such.
No, and she's miles away from it. Like, although she's positioning defensively in the tunnel, she must be at least a mile down.
I wonder if that was a degree of lampshading.
I think it was.
Yeah, it's like, look, we know how we want to kill this angel. We're running out of time. There's only like 2 minutes of the episode left.
It almost suggests that Asuka has some sort of preternatural ability that she can almost extend her AT field vertically upwards like a torpedo and smash it to bits. But we don't see it. But
also, Ray goes like, "Well, I'll take the defensive role."
Yes, true. Yes,
because she often has this attitude where she doesn't really value her own.
No, she almost wants to sacrifice herself. Yeah.
And then Asuka's like, "No, I'll do it." Yeah. I'm like, why? Because it's really dangerous.
It's the most dangerous.
She's like, yeah.
That's why.
And she's like kind of like stabbing a knife into a leg, just to feel something, just to feel alive.
And so she says, so Shinji will be offense and Ray will be gun collection.
Yeah.
And they all go, okay.
And the team actually fall in, like they work very well together.
Yeah,
independently.
Yeah. Asuka swings up, takes position. She takes a huge amount of acid onto the Ava's back, which seems to hurt her because of her connection, I guess. And all of her screens are like showing white noise.
Yeah, it's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Shinji braces himself, again, horizontally in the shaft.
Underneath Asuka.
Ray drops down.
Yeah.
Grabs a gun.
Throws it up.
Tosses it up.
Shinji catches it.
Very cool little catch.
Very cool moment. He goes, Asuka, get out the way! She tumbles to the side, gets back into the tube, I assume. And then Shinji fires a volley straight upwards. And then we see an outside shot of the angel, and the bullets just seem to go straight through its body.
like a 1,001 rounds just blasting up into the sky.
Yeah, and there's a moment where we're like, did that do anything? And then the body sort of falls, and the legs sort of cave inwards.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because I was thinking to myself, did it explode or not?
Well, this is the weird thing. They don't explode in the show. They explode in the movies. Isn't that right? They all explode into blood in the movies, which is something they change.
Some
of them do.
Some explode in the series, but it comes across as more like a deliberate suicide.
Yes, because of course Satchel does it.
Yeah, it's literally like when Shinji's about to kill him.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, it just wraps stuff around and blows up.
But it's like there's a real big thing in the movies, isn't there? Which we'll touch on again, I think, when we watch the next one, where they burst into blood.
Yeah,
and there's tidal waves of blood, which is not something they do in the show.
No,
with as much consistency.
Because I was thinking as Shinji killed Material, I was thinking if that blows up.
Straight down.
Well, yeah, and also like just we've had lots of shots of like idyllic city life.
Yeah, that's
just going to be another 10,000 people.
Yeah, because
dead.
I'm guessing in this one there's been no evacuation to Tokyo 3 because there's been no nerve alarm system.
No.
There's been no power to the geofront to pull the buildings back down under.
Yeah. No.
So people are probably just going about their everyday lives, which means it's a bit weird that they didn't play on that and show people running and screaming from a giant spider walking through a city.
You see, the problem, Nick, is that would have been really hard to animate.
It would have been a strain on the animator's wrists.
And as a big thing we've touched on is that there's in the original series, which we're working our way through, there is very little explanation or work done to show how the city and the people
live and function.
Yeah,
you're absolutely
at
right.
all. Like we it's why we joke when we see like a laundry because we're like, oh, like laundries.
Oh, so that's happening.
Survive.
Yeah.
Life appears utterly normal. We're led to believe it's just like an utterly normal city, except occasionally we evacuate and the buildings drop underground where it's nice and safe. But yeah, we don't see people running. The streets all appear to be deserted.
Yeah.
But we have no way of knowing if that's normal or weird or...
Yeah, or just an underpopulated city.
Yeah. What is weird is the ending.
Remind me.
Well, no, sorry, we get a bit more comedy in the elevator.
Yes, so it cuts back to Misato and Kaji.
Yes, and they're trying to
She needs the loo.
Yeah, she needs the loo. She's standing on his shoulders. They're trying to open the roof.
Top of it.
It's not working. They fall. They collapse.
Power comes back on.
Power comes back on. Door opens, and there they are, lying on top of each other because they just fell down. But it looks like they're having the relations.
Except it doesn't really. But no, that's what's inferred. Yeah. And Ritsuko and one of the technicians is there.
The nameless technician.
Nameless face, and she just goes, disgusting. Even though it's not disgusting. No. Just two people on the ground fully clothed. But okay, yeah, that's pretty disgusting.
And and then suddenly, Smash... This is a really weird ending. Smash cut to a hillside above Tokyo 3.
Middle of the night.
And Shinji's like, ironic, isn't it? Without lights, the sky is so beautiful. It's not ironic.
It's not ironic. That's just facts.
It's just statements,
yeah.
Shinji. And then they look down, and the camera pans down, and we see Tokyo 3 coming back to life. All the power coming back on.
Lights in the skyscrapers lighting up.
And for some reason, the three kids are lying on a hillside wearing their plug suits.
Yeah, with Ava's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, and miles from a nerve facility.
Just lying on a hillside, just drinking it in.
And they have a philosophical little conversation about man using light to chase away the darkness.
Yeah.
And Shinji goes, oh, maybe that's why the angels hate us.
And then the camera pans up to the stars above, and then it ends.
And it irises out, and the moon winks.
See you next time.
The end. Like, every time I see something and I'm like, why are the kids unsupervised? Who's running nerve? Who dropped the ball on this one? You can always forgive it by saying, oh no, they're actually so good at surveillance that, you saw 3 children on a hillside. Actually, every blade of grass is a small camera. And that tree is a man with a gun.
And there are 10 guys in shot, but you can't see them.
Yeah, no, it's just everything is fine. We are always in control.
That's very convenient. And probably the card that Hideaki Anno would play if we asked him.
Don't think about it.
No, it's too much.
So, Nick.
So, John.
What did you think of this episode?
I really enjoyed this episode.
It was great.
It was good.
Yeah.
I really like stories where they're about a complex, futuristic thing. Whether that be a facility, whether that be a starship, because Star Trek does episodes like this as well. When everything goes wrong, the power goes down, and the people within that technological construct have to make it work, but in the ways it doesn't normally, i.e., by hand cranking
Yeah.
stuff, diesel generating.
It's
stuff.
like Apollo 13.
Yes, human ingenuity.
It's like, we have to get these 3 men back alive. You know?
I'm pretty sure there's a Voyager episode where all the power on the ship goes down, except for basic systems that keeps them alive. And it's just really fun to see them jimmying open doors that previously would have just gone tss and opened. You know, it's good. It's a sci-fi staple, I think, and I like it.
Because we put up with a lot in this show. But if I had to, kind of like, sift through the nonsense and pick out little gems that make it great, what this episode represents would be one of them. And it is, this idea of like mind-boggling horrors are coming from space. And yeah, we have technology, and yeah, we have awesome robots. But what we really have is science, and it's winning every battle by the skin of your teeth.
Yeah.
And coming
through
and
human ingenuity,
thinking in the moment, and just coming up with crazy new solutions and ideas. And this is great because it's like, this is really good because everybody acts logically.
Yeah.
They face the problems like sensible people. And yeah, they have to just work their ass off and like do something desperate and crazy to make it work. And it's great. It's awesome.
And it's also a great opportunity for stories to really relish in their own internal logic.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would happen if this was to happen? Like, we have all of these storytelling systems in place for, umbilical cord power for the Avas and the 5-minute countdown and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, what happens if we can't get any power to them at all? And it's really cool to think that, when they drop their batteries off, I was a little bit worried that we wouldn't see the 5-minute timer.
But
we did.
They remembered.
They remembered.
Yeah,
and it's like, it's obvious that they should remember it, and it would have been a massive failing of the episode if they hadn't. But it's always very satisfying when you see all the things that you think should happen before your eyes. It's very good.
Because it shows that the people working on the episode thought about,
exactly,
put some
and
care into it.
Yeah. And they always say that if you care about what you're working on, then the people will see it. And this was an example of that.
Well, also, it's like, as any series progresses with a hero, there's often the thing where the hero becomes more skilled and more powerful as the series goes on, thus technically minimizing the threat because they get better at dealing with it. So it's like I think most video games have a moment like this as well, where there's a moment near the end of the game where all your powers are taken away from you. So it's crazy because this is why it's a good episode, because the stakes feel real.
Yeah,
like all the technology, all these amazing anti-angel weapons which always work.
Yeah, now don't.
Now they just by simple act of having no power, it really mixes things up. It's great. Yeah.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one.
Who do you think did the sabotage?
That's a good question, and it's almost like we see Kaji in the elevator with Misato to tell us that it isn't him.
At the same time, however, he was running to catch the elevator.
Oh my goodness, he was.
Like who knows what was going through his head?
He's just about the only wild card we have at the moment,
and we know he's like a secret agent working for someone.
Also, if he had done it, he would want to get into an elevator with Misato.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if he in his twisted head, where he's like, "Yeah, I know."
2 birds, 1 stone here. I can shut Nerve down, and I can get off with Misato.
Yeah,
which didn't work in the end.
Yeah, I just, or even in a perverse way, did you think like an elevator was the safest place to be, or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I wouldn't think that.
it's a hell of a risky game.
Yeah,
because surely any sabotage of Nerve would potentially end the world. Like, if
I'm not sure we ever find out. But that was when I was a younger guy watching this show. Maybe there will be hints.
I would almost put money on the fact that we will not find out.
Okay.
Like, I think it would just be one of those things where there's so much around Evangelion that
seems a very big plot point to not tell.
I reckon if we looked it up, there'd be a major. I reckon there's probably a fan community theory that he
which
probably
is quite
did
strong.
It. Yeah,
I mean, it must be Kaji. He's the only one who seems to have any motivation to be a constant pain in the ass.
Because I mean, all we know is that he's reporting to Gendo,
which is goes against it. To be fair,
but it's a weird thing though. It's like we know for a fact that he's reported to Gendo because he delivered a sinister
embryo.
Yeah, embryo to Gendo. At the same time, however, do you remember in the last episode, he met with the random lady with a dog.
Oh yeah, on the ski lift.
Yeah.
And
it's like, who's that?
Yeah,
like who's
the puppy lady?
Who's he reporting to? You know, he is at best a double agent. At worst, a triple agent. We don't.
But this again plays into the thing we were talking about with the army and Nerve. Like, there is no point in double agents anymore. Like, I know you want a story about sabotage and intrigue and political, like, assassination or whatever. I know you want that for this story, but it doesn't make sense because everyone would be on the side of protecting the Earth.
And again,
as you said, if someone sabotaged Nerve, they are running the risk, if not trying to cause the end of the world.
Yeah. And I know I'm a bit of a crack record here, but it's like, we know, because we've seen this all before, that there is a conspiracy and there are alternative.
But this isn't part of that.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I feel so much of the storytelling in Evangelion is blinking, you miss it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So,
like one conversation, one throwaway line from a character.
So you get to the end, and suddenly, like, we get to the end of the series, and we know that, like, oh, X is making their power play, and this is happening, and we can think it out, and we'll go like, oh yeah, it all makes sense now. But I'm almost not sure if it does in the moment. Like, I don't know how much of this stuff is genuinely throwaway, and it only seems to make sense after the fact.
From a storytelling perspective, the way that Gendo is handled in this episode suggests that he isn't anything to do with this.
I don't think he is.
No, because the whole story of him being manually involved in loading the Avas up suggests a real deep-seated desire to save the world.
Yeah.
Because of his own personal goals and targets in mind. He doesn't want to save the world because he's a lovely person. He wants to save the world because he has a very specific plan in mind.
Yeah.
But the whole way it's structured suggests that we're meant to... It's not Gendo.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, and
I don't think it is.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I guess I don't know. It's almost irrelevant, isn't it? Like, because it could just be sinister person in background who it doesn't matter. Like, it's not important who did it because the consequences of it are important. But I liked what you pointed out about how, they realised someone was mapping the facility. That's a very interesting idea.
And that could come back.
Yeah.
There's a chance that we may... I think there's a very slight chance that we may see some follow-up to this.
I think I
We may not find out who it was.
No, I reckon we won't find out who it was, and I don't think it will be explicitly mentioned ever again.
No.
But I think events later on will maybe cast it in a light where you could go, it was probably X.
Yes.
Or it was probably Y. You'll be able to...
Because we are... On this rewatch, one of the things we're discovering is stuff that we missed the first time around.
Yeah.
In a big way. Like, lots of stuff. Like, I don't even remember seeing the puppy lady in the ski lift before.
Yeah.
I think my brain just switched off because I didn't understand what's going on.
But that's the thing, it's just blinking, you miss it.
Yeah.
Like, was that important? Was it not important?
But we're not blinking this time.
Is that just one of Anno's, crazy moments? I don't know what's happening, yeah.
But we're watching it with eagle eyes this time. And I think if there's going to be a callback to the weird sabotage of this episode, we're going to see it. And we'll comment on it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
Like, this show isn't the greatest in terms of internal continuity and stuff, but I think they might do this. And I'm gonna put myself out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say I'm looking forward to it.
I hope they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I personally don't think they will, but I reckon it will be one of the story beats where you'll just go like, that makes sense.
I see.
Like, I don't think
they were never explicit, but
it'll be subtle.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Or you can just infer. Joy from it.
Okay, so shall we rate it?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. So I guess to remind ourselves, and I guess anyone listening, because it has been a while, we do 2 ratings.
We do.
We do impact, which is generally just how good was the episode.
Yeah.
And also Shinji-ness, which is basically how Shinji was Shinji.
Yeah.
With 0 being normal 14-year-old boy and 10 being screaming emotional wreck on the brink of the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so impact.
Yeah.
As we said, we enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I think I've got a number in mind.
I think I have a number as well.
Okay. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
8.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to say 7.
Okay.
Which I know is a boring, safe kind of... But I was like, it was a good episode, but I was thinking, like, at the same time, I didn't tip it over into brilliant, because I was like, there wasn't a massive amount of action.
Mm-hmm.
The action they did was appropriate and well done, but I was like, this is good.
I know what you mean. Like, it wasn't impactful, but I feel like it was because it's one of the episodes that I would show off to someone.
Yeah, no, see, that's a good point.
I want to give it a high score for that. And what I want is the score at the end. If it's got a high impact, I want it to be something that therefore I feel like I'll show that episode.
Would you want to split the difference? Call it an 8?
Yeah.
then?
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grand.
8's
yeah.
good.
Good work, Anno.
Well done.
Good
Okay.
job.
Shinginess.
I have a number.
Do you? Okay.
It's a tough one. This is a subtle scale.
It is.
Hold on.
Okay, I think I have one. Yes. You go first.
4.
Okay. Much higher than I thought.
Okay, what were you
Interesting.
thinking?
I was thinking 2.
Hmm.
Because my reasoning was the only really Shinji moment that we had was his inability to talk to his dad on the phone.
Yeah.
Which, though Shinji-y, because it was really annoying to listen to him not actually say anything and just stutter, it's also less to do with him being Shinji and more to do with his dad being a
Yeah.
poo.
I was thinking there's also like those moments where, and again, not in a bad way, but simply that like his complete indecisiveness.
That's very true.
I guess his relationship with the 2 girls, like
Yeah.
But again, he's an interesting character, and I think he doesn't do too badly in this episode.
And he has a heroic moment as well in the final battle.
In these social moments,
He's capable.
That's a weird thing. Like in the social moments, he's completely trodden. He's just, he's a doormat. He just gets walked all over. Can never make a decision. But in combat, he doesn't. He doesn't make the decisions, but he does entirely what's needed. He's very, competent.
And he's usually the
brave.
rock upon which the entire plan succeeds because,
Yeah.
Well, do you want to split the difference on that?
3?
3?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty
Okay.
good.
A good episode.
Really good.
Really strong episode, actually.
Yeah.
And again, not a flashy episode.
No, but I think that's why I really liked it. I like the episodes and again, it's a sci-fi trope, when it's not the big season finale 2-part, like, massive deal. It's the ones where the characters are tested.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is you get some really good mythology and you get some really good character work. And this did that.
Yeah.
It did both of those. It did this kind of episode really well.
And again, I would be so happy to show this to someone.
Which, considering some would be embarrassed to show, that is quite a compliment.
It's annoying in a way, because this episode in particular, because it's like, if you're writing a series or producing a series or whatever, they can't all be massive explosion, epic fights. We've had those moments, and we've had moments like that which we've rated very highly because this is great, like the action is awesome. But the quiet moments are what's going to fill the gaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a truly brilliant series, you'd have these great peaks of action.
Yeah.
But then you'd want to enjoy the gaps.
And it's the sign of a good storyteller that makes good use of the moments when it's down.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we don't want it to be boring. We don't want it to be dull. So what do we do when we don't have the budget to go big? How do we go big on a small level? How do we do that?
Yeah.
And that's the sign of a good storyteller.
The frustrating thing is that I'm like, why can't the other episodes be like this?
Yeah.
Because the way the characters act, the logic, there's no overtly weird sexual or, nobody acts like a lunatic.
No, it just works.
Yeah, and I'm like,
It was satisfying.
damn it, it's like, could the other, like, episodes that we don't remember as well, could they not have been like this? Could they not have all been like this? Because I want to see the adventures of happy bureaucratic defend the earth company and the way they operate.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
I'm not sure I want to see like weird psychosexual baffling
No one asked for that.
Quango,
We want robots.
Yeah,
We want giant, colourful robots with awesome pilots fighting to save the world.
Because it's like if you compared this episode with, I don't know, what people think like a Japanese robot cartoon would be, I'd be like, no, this is the thinking man's one, because it's not just like plug in an Ethereum crystal and watch us, battle the Plutarch. It's
I want to watch that shit.
It'd be amazing, yeah. But no, this is like, look, it's science, it's logic, it's
yeah,
and it's great. And this is like that little gem of greatness. People must have seen something in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good episode.
Good stuff.
Should we call it a day?
Let's call it a day.
Well, it's good to be back,
It is.
everyone.
Yeah, let's not make any promises.
No.
no, we're back. We're back.
It's good to be back 2 weeks before your wedding.
Yeah, might not be another one until, I guess, after I get back from honeymoon.
we could Skype an episode while you're in Japan.
That might be quite cool.
No, you'll have better things to do, but
Probably, yeah. I'll be asleep.
You can interview Unit 1.
I tell you what, I might see if I can bring something back for the show.
Oh, please do.
Something Evangelion related, and we'll do a little like side bit talking
show and
about
tell,
what
yeah.
I've got. Because I've got to get something Evangelion while I'm there.
You'd have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Existential dread.
Yes, I can bring that back with
That'd
me.
be delightful.
Everyone would love it.
Right. Well, anyway, it's very good to be back, and yes, we will be picking this up.
Absolutely.
So, I guess thank you for listening.
Yep.
And until next time, remember, however bad your life may be,
At least you're not Shinji Ikari.